Hi, this is Northampton Reptile Centre, and today we'll be going over one of our favourite beginner reptiles, corn snakes. Corn snakes are, in our opinion, the easiest species of snake to keep, with very straightforward care requirements. They are a calm, easy to handle species that is extremely unlikely to bite, making them great for people new to the reptile keeping hobby. Like many other species of snake in the pet trade, corn snakes, Latin name Pantherophis guttatus, hunt prey through constricting, rather than the use of venom. They are in the family Colubridae, along with many other similar slender snakes such as milk snakes, rat snakes, king snakes, and grass snakes, with corn snakes being more closely related to rat snakes than the others. Corn snakes originate in southeastern United States, ranging from New Jersey all the way down to the Florida Keys. In the wild, they are typically found in places like overgrown fields and forest openings, but they will also make homes in some buildings, especially on farms where rodents, their primary food source, are abundant. There is some debate over where the name corn snake comes from. The prevailing idea is they get their name from their presence near grain stores, where they would prey on rats and mice that would otherwise eat the harvested corn. Others say the name simply comes from the pattern on the snake's belly resembling the kernels of variegated corn. Probably the main thing we keep in mind when recommending beginner reptiles is the ease of care. And when it comes to reptiles, it doesn't get much more simple than corn snakes. They need a temperature of around 90 Fahrenheit or 32 Celsius on the hot side of the enclosure, with this cooling down to 70 Fahrenheit or 21 Celsius on the opposite side. Typically, we recommend wooden vivariums for this as they hold on to the heat quite well. You then want a nighttime temperature of 80 Fahrenheit or 26.5 Celsius in at least one area of the enclosure so the snake has somewhere to warm up. For lighting, we like to provide our corn snakes with a weak source of UVB. While this isn't needed in quite the same way as a bearded dragon, we do find there are positives for the snake. It more closely imitates the conditions they would get in the wild and, among other things, can improve the day-night cycle of the snake. In terms of furnishing the enclosure, the absolute bare minimum would be a water bowl large enough for the snake to fit in, a hide each for the hot and cool sides of the enclosure, and some form of decoration for the snake. While this should work quite well, we always heavily recommend getting a few more decorations and hides. This can make the snake feel more safe and secure in its enclosure, which will in turn make the animal much happier. For a young snake, a good rule of thumb is it should be able to move all the way from one side of the enclosure to the other without being seen. Corn snakes have a relatively easy day-to-day care. All you need to do is have a general check of the animal to make sure it is healthy, replace its water, and do a spot clean to keep the enclosure in top condition. When it comes to feeding corn snakes, you want to feed thawed, frozen mice. You generally want to select mice that are slightly smaller than the girth of the snake at its thickest point. For juveniles, you typically feed every week, moving to every 2 weeks as the animal grows. As the animal grows, it will eventually shed its skin. You can quite easily tell a corn snake is close to shedding, as it will go a lot paler and lose a fair amount of its colour. Its eyes will also begin to go cloudy. During this time, the snake may go off its food, but it should go back to feeling like normal once it has finished its shed. The skin should come off in one solid piece, but if it is patchy, it may need some help removing it. Bathing the snake in some lukewarm water should help loosen the leftover skin and make it easy to remove. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any further questions or if there is something you aren't quite sure about, comment below or send us an email at sales@reptilecentre.com.